Alright, I'm just gonna make a quick video right here. Just finishing up with my Uber rides this evening. Just taking a break. Right now, I'm about to go in the gym, work out, and then get back right into it. So anyhow, so as I'm doing my Uber rides earlier today, I picked up this one guy. And this was in the middle of a Uber pool, which is multiple random people getting in and out of the car for different rides. So I picked up this guy. Notice he had a Spanish name on the profile. So I picked him up. Looked like a white guy. Come to find out he's from Brazil. So he gets in the car and he's like just talking to me. And I'm chatting it up with him too. And then he asked me, "You have kids? Are you married?" I said no and no. And then he started going into, "Oh my goodness, it is so expensive having kids. I have two kids, and oh man, it's trouble. It's expensive. I gotta spend a lot of money. And then, me and my wife, this and that. I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know what's gonna happen if I get a divorce. I'm probably have to pay child support." And then I cut him off right there. I said, "And alimony, since you're married to her, it's not just child support. You have to pay alimony too." And then he said, "Well, okay, I don't know how that works." And then I just shook my head. Then I kind of like cut him off a little bit because I had to ask a few questions. So first I asked him, "Where are you from?" He said he's from Brazil. That's how I found out. I said, "Where's your wife from?" He said USA. I shook my head again, like in disbelief. I said, "Where did you marry her?" "Oh, in California." I shook my head again. I was like, "Man, you married this American woman in the worst state to marry a woman in America." He said, "Is it really that bad?" I shook my head again. This guy was just totally clueless. Totally clueless. So, I was like, okay. I had to break it down for him. I said, I started giving him advice. I said, "Hey, depending on how long you're married to her, you're going to have to pay alimony. And I don't really know too much about that, but I can tell you about what to do with child support. If you hear a loud noise, I'm at this parking lot at the gym close to the airport. There's always some sort of distraction when I'm making a video." I apologize for that. Anyway, so yeah, I started giving him advice about what I would do. I think it's pretty solid advice about basically I was telling him how he can, basically he's gonna have to kind of set up his wife, like if he ends up paying child support and the woman gets the custody of his kids. And I said, okay, just go ahead, pay the child support, do what the court tells you, however long, 1 year, 2 years, keep track of all the payments you've paid, keep receipts of everything you do, whatever you buy your children. I started giving him advice. Even though I don't have any kids of my own, I know a few people, a few men who's been burnt through child support. And this is basically based off of what they've told me, plus my own research. And I've already made a video talking about child support anyway. I didn't tell him that. I didn't get into that because there's too many people in the car. If he was by himself, I would have told him I made YouTube videos and he told him to check me out, but I didn't even do that. More on that later. So I was giving him advice of basically how to, I said, "Hey, you're going to have to be slightly dishonest just to set this woman up." So just basically tell a lie saying, "Hey, like try to prove that she abused the children when that may not even be the case. Like when she's given a whooping, just have someone take a picture, just try to catch her in that, and then run into the courthouse saying she's abusing the children. That kind of works. And then the woman will lose custody, and then you'll get custody, and then you won't pay any more child support. That's one of the tricks I would do. I'm probably going to have to talk about that in another video, future video, concerning child support. But I don't know any tactics concerning alimony. You might have to search around for that. So I told him that part and everything. So I started giving him more advice, and he was listening to me. And there's other people in the car. I normally don't talk about this sort of thing when I'm doing Uber because my views is very controversial. Pretty much like 99% of the time, it probably might get me in trouble. It was another dude in the car. I don't know where he stood. I didn't even talk to him. I was talking to this individual. He sat up front with me. So I was just basically, all this advice I'm giving him is a lot of the advice I've learned from me watching YouTube videos myself when I started watching YouTube about 8 years ago. Yeah, about 8 years ago. That's when I started getting into YouTube, watching, being a casual observer, because I stayed watching videos and I learned a lot. And I literally try to apply it to my own life. It's helped me transform from a former simp, a former mangina. A lot of us, initially, we just lacked the knowledge or information or the experience. We just didn't know. And this guy clearly didn't know. He was clueless. He didn't realize that he could pay alimony. He said that, oh, well, my wife said if we get a divorce, she's not going to pursue it. I said, you can't trust that. You can't trust that. You trust her too much. You can't leave nothing to pass. Man, I started just giving him strategies. I think he was taking notes. It sounded like unbelievable to him, but I think he kind of trusted me. I'm just trying to help this guy out. He's the one that brought it up to me. Here comes another plane. So he asked me a few questions, and then just having a brief conversation, I could tell he's stressed out from this situation. And me personally, I want to have kids, actually, but I want to be careful. I know a lot of people, within the YouTube sector, a lot of men talk about like how just dangerous, and I'm fully aware of it. I know how dangerous it is. I'm not necessarily promoting it. It's just my own personal choice of what I want to do. That's just me, but you still got to be careful. So I'm fully aware of it. But, and this guy, because I know what I do if I had child support, but I know how to reverse it. I at least attempt to do so. And yeah, I dropped him off. And one last thing, I told him, I said, hey, you need to go on YouTube and start looking up videos concerning this matter, especially with MGTOW. And I spelled it out for him, MGTOW, even though I'm not MGTOW. But that was where I got my start with a lot of the information I know. But I think for myself, and I use my own mind as to how I'm going to apply the information. I use like about 70% of it. But however much you want to use, that's totally up to you as a man. And, you guys are probably like, well, Neck of the Woods, why didn't you tell him about Ibmore? Well, this guy, he's not black. If I run into a black dude who needs this sort of help or advice, I'd tell him about MGTOW and Ibmore, RPB, and SYSBM. I tell them about all of them, and then they make up their own mind as to what they're going to watch. You know, just like I do. I watch all of it and then I use my own mind as to what makes the most sense to me in my life. But this guy, he wasn't black. He was a foreigner. He was from Brazil, and he looked like a white dude. So MGTOW would be good for him. And and you know what? Normally, like if he was the only person in the car, I would have told him that I make YouTube videos and he's check out my video. I've actually done this a few times before. I've talked to a couple people, and I've had them subscribe to my videos. Maybe like 2 or 3 people, not a whole lot. You know, I don't go out searching for this. I don't know where people stand on things. Again, I'm not too many people agree with my outlook on life anyway, and this is in real life. So promoting my YouTube to them, that's the last thing I want to do, especially when I'm working a job. But I try to hear where people stand, and then if we're kind of talking about a certain thing that I think I know, you know, have some knowledge about, I do present it, and then I suggest that depending on the topic. But yeah, I helped this guy out. I think he really appreciated it. I was just explaining to him that, because he was thinking about, he's saying, oh man, I'm just gonna quit my job. Like, because it sounded like he's going through something with this marriage he's in. He's, I'm going to quit my job. I'm not going to work hard just to give it all away if that's how it's going to be. I said, no, I gave him strategic moves of what to do. And I'm going to start making more videos about this sort of thing as to what to do if you run into, like, you get hemmed up dealing with a woman. I mean, trust me, I've been hemmed up a few times, and that you know, I just kept getting, you know, jacked up, and I'm like, man, I know something's wrong here, and then that's how I came to YouTube, and then of course I experienced it and lived it, and I had to figure out a way to get around it. But yeah, I told him, like for example, I said, hey man, like, I said, don't quit your job. I was like, you know, you're gonna get your raises. Just like if you make a certain amount, you know, you just leave it. You don't update it unless the woman says something. Like, some women will like try to get more money because they know you probably got a raise. And then this advice I told them, like, well, yeah, you can also go back to court and say, oh, you're having like a hardship of living finances. But I said, but you got to say it in a certain way. You can't just say, oh, I can't live. They don't give a damn about you. You're a man. They want you to suffer. So you got to say it in a different way that will make sense to them. I said, for example, like, if she try to ask for money, like, if you can see that that's what she's going to do, women usually tell on themselves, oh, I'm going to take you to court. I'm going to get more money from you. And, you know, this, I told him, like, a tactic what he should do is, like, just go out, like, especially here in California, go out and get, like, 4 parking tickets and let that run up and let, you know, let it extend, and then they're going to add more to the ticket. I know this sounds stupid, but you just get like the 4 tickets or 5 tickets, and then, you know, all that is a setback, and then just pay the ticket and keep the receipts of it, and just be like, you know, I would like to pay it, but I just got finished paying like 3 tickets. I just lost track. I don't know. I had to pay it. It's a major setback. I won't be able to afford it. I got 2 more tickets I need to pay for. You run that kind of game at the courthouse, and you probably might get a little sympathy and leeway. Just that's just the type of thing that, you know, I know that would work. For example, you just gotta know how to talk to the judges. But anyhow, well, I'm coming up at my 15-minute mark, so yeah, so that is all I gotta say on that matter.